and welcome back to MoWino's Test Kitchen. So, now that Thanksgiving is on the horizon, I thought I should make some dishes for Thanksgiving leftovers. I think everybody has their own family tradition of what to serve at the Thanksgiving table, but what do we do with the leftovers and not getting sick of turkey? So in my family, we always had, obviously, the leftovers on Friday reheated, and then on Saturday, my grandmother always made turkey chop suey. That was just our thing. And then obviously there's turkey soup and all those kind of things. Well, one of the things that I started making years ago was what we call Thanksgiving pie, by literally taking basically all of the leftovers, mixing them together to create a pie filling, and then baking it in the oven with a topping of either leftover mashed potatoes or mashed sweet potatoes, or my very first Thanksgiving pie, we did leftover stuffing on top of the turkey, and it was the biggest hit ever. So cheers, we're about to get started. I have a pan heating up, and I cheated. I bought pre-cut celery, carrots, and onions, which is traditionally known as the trinity of aromatic cooking. So that's all I'm going to do now is saute some chopped aromatics, the trinity, the sofrito, whatever you call this mixture. And I'm going to let that simmer and get soft before I start mixing all of my Thanksgiving ingredients. Okay, for our ingredients, we have a cup of leftover Brussels sprouts, a cup of leftover green beans, a cup of leftover wild rice, and a cup of chopped turkey, and we have our whole big leftover casserole of stuffing. Now, I will tell you that the quantities and the levels of ingredients goes to your personal taste and to what has your leftovers are. So if you really want a vegetable, heavy dominated vegetable, you put more of the vegetable leftover. If you want dominated turkey, then maybe put 2 cups of turkey as opposed to the 1 cup of vegetable ratio. What I'm doing here is literally doing a 1-to-1 ratio because we are just making a sampling of what we have. But truthfully, it's up to you. The only thing that is different is this, as I said, the aromatic trinity sofrito that we are making here. I literally just call these my aromatics. And once they get sauteed and softened, then we're going to start compiling our pie. Cheers! Our aromatics have been sauteing for about 5 minutes, and the onions are starting to look translucent, and the celery and carrots are looking tender. So I'm going to take this opportunity to mix in my components for the Thanksgiving pie. I have 1 cup of leftover Brussels sprouts that I have quartered, 1 cup of leftover green beans that I chopped into smaller pieces, 1 cup of wild rice leftover, now you can just stop right here and make a vegetarian pie, but it is Thanksgiving and we are using leftovers, so I have 1 cup of leftover chopped turkey. Mostly it's the dark meat, believe it or not. So, you know, some people have a problem or find it difficult to eat the dark meat, and it's always the leftovers. Here nobody's going to complain that it's dark meat because it's going to be mixed in with such great flavors. So we are going to let that simmer together. We'd be cooking with MoWino if we didn't add wine. So we have our leftover vegetables and our aromatics and our leftover turkey, all nice in this big fry pan. And what I'm just going to do is pour in, I would say, a 1/2 cup of wine, and now let it slowly simmer. I mean, everything is already cooked, but we just want to kind of create a cohesive and soft filling for our pie. And I think actually I might need a little more because the pot is big. All right, there we go. now it's even quiet and hushed because it's taking its bath in the wine, as I always say. Okay. So now we're going to let this just simmer so that the wine flavors and the aromatics of the fresh vegetables all come together. So here we have our sauteed leftover turkey, which will be the filling for our pie. So now that it's all gelled together, we are going to let it cool just a bit before we stuff our pie. Okay, so here's our leftover stuffing. And one of the things that always happens is that the stuffing gets really dry and it needs to be reconstituted. Now, normally you can put it on the stove and do it with some melted butter or adding some milk or adding some chicken broth. But of course, you know, this is MoWino headquarters. So I have always reconstituted my stuffing with whatever open bottle is in the house by giving it a little bit of a dash of white wine. Or sometimes I have even done it with champagne. I know, but it's true. But today for our pie, we want a creaminess to the topping. So what I'm going to do is add some leftover gravy, which, yes, I did mix with wine. Because when we make our gravy with the pan drippings, we make it with wine. So it's just adding more wine to the leftover gravy. And now we're going to mix all this up. Here is step one of our assembled pie. All our beautiful leftovers that have been mixed together and gelled together with wine. Okay, there you go, my friends. The pie is ready and assembled with its stuffing crust. So we're going to put it in a 425 oven and bake it for 35 to 40 minutes until the crust is golden brown and it is heated through. Because this is a very thick pie. Even though everything's cooked, we want to make sure it gets heated all the way through. And here we are, our Thanksgiving pie, baked with goodness of all leftovers, with its stuffing topping. Yum.